Vacha Grihastha padavim Janjasa Che Bruhi Shobri Amudadi. Someone. Yudhishthira Vacha Etam Padavim Medinayena Janjasa Madhishobri Amudadi. Yudhishthira Vacha Yastaitam Padavim Medinayena Janjasa Madrisho Grihamudadi. Shri Yudhishthira Vacha. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Grihastha, a person living with his family. Etam, this, the process mentioned in the previous chapter. Padavim, position of liberation. Vidina, according to the instructions of Vedic scripture. Yena, by which. Cha, also. Anjasa, easily. Yayat, may get. Devarishe, or great sage among the demigods. Bruhi, kindly explain. Madrisha, such as me. Kriya Mudadi, completely ignorant of the goal of life. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired from Narada Muni, O my lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas. Purport. In the previous chapters, the great sage Narada has explained how a brahmachari, a vanaprastha and a sannyasi should act. He first explained the dealings of a brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyasi, because these three ashrams or statuses of life are extremely important for fulfillment of the goal of life. One should note that in the brahmachari ashram, vanaprastha ashram and sannyas ashram there is no scope for sex life, where sex is allowed in Grihastha life under regulations. Narada Muni therefore first described brahmacharya, vanaprastha and sannyas because he wanted to stress that sex is not at all necessary, although one who absolutely requires it is allowed to enter Grihastha life or household life, which is also regulated by the Shastras and Guru. Yudhishthira Maharaj could understand all this. Therefore, as a Grihastha, he presented himself as Griha Mudadi, one who is completely ignorant of the goal of life. A person who remains a householder in family life is certainly ignorant of life's goal. He is not very much advanced in intelligence. As soon as possible, one should give up his so-called comfortable life at home and prepare to undergo austerity or tapasya, tapodivyam putraka. According to the instructions given by Rishabdev to his sons, we should not create a so-called comfortable situation, but must prepare to undergo austerity. This is how a human being should actually live to fulfill life's ultimate goal. Homa Yajna Mirandasya Ginanjana Salakayan Shakshimilitam Nina Tasmai Shri Guravinama Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pungung Langayati Grimyat Kripatamang Vande Shri Gurundina Taranam Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired from Narada Muni, O my lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas. Okay. So the topic here is the household life, which can be very problematic for spiritual life if a person is not trained. If we are not trained and then we enter the household life, we might get completely bewildered and distracted from Krishna consciousness, because there is so much to do. Yeah, there are so many things to do in household life. Then it's very difficult to stay focused. Yeah. And if someone who has not had any training or any education, then it's not possible for him to balance everything nicely. He has no chance. He does not know. So that's why at first comes the brahmachari ashram. So of course nowadays it's not so easy, because brahmachari ashram starts for many devotees who are in the ISKCON movement, which is especially in the West. We start brahmachari ashram very late. Very late. Actually, we start brahmachari ashram where we should start Grihastha ashram. so this everything shifts everything way in the back. And then the problem is, if this devotee is now a brahmachari, maybe in his 20s, when he should actually start his family, then he is very inspired and wants to be a brahmachari, and he is very enthusiastic. But after some years, it's natural, he understands, oh, actually I should be a Grihastha. And now he's maybe already in his 30s or even 40s. And then he becomes a Grihastha. So, and Prabhupada says here, as soon as possible, he should stop being a Grihastha. Right? Prabhupada said here, as soon as possible. So like, oh, and what is Prabhupada also saying is that 50. With 50, Grihastha ashram should be over. Right? First 25 years like brahmachari training, then 25 years Grihastha ashram, then 25 years vanaprastha, then 25 years sannyas. Like, kind of ideal. It's very difficult also. But so his time is running out. What shall he do now? Oh my God, I'm becoming 50 and I have not even, my child is still in his diapers. and I have so many things still I want to do, right? Why does someone become a Grihastha anyway? Because he wants things to do. He wants to experience life in his own way with Krishna, right? And it's okay, that's normal. Yeah? And the Grihastha ashram is there to go through all that to become satisfied. Yeah? So that you can say in one point, yeah, I had everything, what I wanted in life. It's good, thank you, Krishna. I don't need this anymore. Now I'm ready for you. Yeah, if we would have been ready for Krishna right from the start, we would not have entered Grihastha ashram, because we would be very happy with studying Bhagavatam and chanting Hare Krishna. And Grihastha ashram, some are doing this, but okay, I have to read. I want to read. This is, your mind is focused and you're interested and you're not distracted. Whatever other people do and how beautiful the lady might be who walks in front of you, Hare Krishna, reading, you're not distracted. There's no issue, right? But when most of the time it's not the case, we're not so purified, we are not so absorbed, we are not so interested in Krishna. Yeah, so for us it's more, also for the brahmacharis, it's more like a struggle to keep the mind on Krishna. And when he's doing it well, then it comes that naturally becomes very attracted. It's not a fight anymore. He's naturally attracted and he really doesn't want anything else. The power is there. Definitely, the chance is there. But it's very rare. We have to realistically say it, Every brahmachari thinks, yes, I am one of the rare. Yes, try it. Good luck, maybe it works. There are many good examples for that. But majority of devotees, brahmacharis, they enter Grihastha ashram. And it's very important that a devotee, like when we speak now about the brahmacharis, that he understands, will I stay brahmachari or not, right? It's very important for him to actually soon understand that. Not soon to change, but to have a life plan. Right? You should really understand it, because many brahmacharis, now I'm brahmachari and let's see what comes. But very soon he should understand, because if he wants to become a grihastha, he can use the brahmachari life already to prepare. Not that he now goes on lady hunting or something, but that he prepares, okay, I know in 5 years or 10 years I will become a grihastha. He has different mindsets. He will not become a fanatic also. Very often devotees become fanatics, and this is very bad also for the devotional life actually. So he understands, okay, now I will study Shastra, I will distribute books, I'm a brahmachari, and then I will become grihastha, naturally. Or he understands, no, I will not do this, I don't need that, I will enter the sannyasa ashram. I will become sannyasi, and I will prepare myself in this direction, right? But only brahmachari is actually, God, there are some examples, but actually it's like person in between. Because brahmachari life means preparation. It's like student life. Like if some person stays their whole life in school, what's that? What's the use of that? He should go to school to learn something what he can use in life. So the brahmachari should know, okay, do I want to be useful as a grihastha or as a sannyasi? So at one point you should understand that, and then prepare and work in this direction. So if he wants to be a sannyasi, he should associate with sannyasis, he should travel with sannyasis, he should prepare his mind in this direction, right? And sannyasis should be also willing to take care of the brahmachari. I don't want to deal with this, they should actually, sannyasis should be also looking out for, where are those good brahmacharis I can help and train and take under my wings to help them. And if the brahmachari understands, okay, grihastha ashram, so then no problem. But grihastha ashram and sannyasa ashram, both is a step up. Sometimes I was also brahmachari, I know how I thought. I thought it's a step down. I thought grihastha ashram is a step down. Now I'm brahmachari, very high. And now I'm a fallen grihastha. I fell down. He fell down. And so a brahmachari who thinks like this, and especially those who will become grihasthas, they feel very bad. They feel very bad. I could not make it. I'm a loser. And I'm just a grihastha, sense enjoyer. I have to marry now this witch. I'm married with a witch, She dragged me down. She's tempting me all the time. And now I have a child, creation of our lust. It's a manifestation of our lust. I'm stuck here. I could have become a sannyasi. There would have been such a glorious future ahead where I traveled to the temples and they greet me, the great Maharaj. The Maharaj. And now I'm sitting here with the baby in my arm. And the wife says, you haven't brought out the garbage. Oh, yes. So I'm so fallen. I'm lowly. I messed up. My life is useless. Of course, Grihastha ashram is a humiliation. Yeah, sure, it's a humiliation. Yeah, sure. You have to be the servant of the child who screams, Daddy, I want Lego. Play Lego with me. And all that. Yeah, but it's a necessary thing. And anyway, Grihastha ashram has so many advantages. So many advantages. As a brahmachari, you have to keep very high moral principles. You cannot go here or there. It's not possible. You have to be very, very strict. And Grihastha, the path is more broad. Yeah, it's more broad. Yeah, the hair can be a little bit longer, right? No one will say, "Why are you not shaved up? Why are you not shaved up? Way too long." No, yeah, and you have just more freedom, right? And it's very good because if you are trained as a good brahmachari and if you are trained to good association, so studying of the Shastras, the freedom, you will not misuse your freedom. And you will enjoy your freedom. It's very nice. As I said, I was a brahmachari and I definitely don't want to go back there. Definitely not want to go back. I don't want to live in a Sardinenbüchse auf 4 Rädern. That's in German. I don't want to live in a van. I was living so many years in a van, and Prabhupada speaks here about the so-called comfortable life. Yeah, yes, so-called. For me, it's comfortable. He says so-called. For me, it's comfortable. It's very nice. Krishna gives. Yeah? Krishna says, I give what you need, I preserve what you lack. Krishna takes care, he gives all that. But in the end, to see, yes, but then I want to really surrender and want to live more simple again. Right? Right now it's a bit more facilities. Yeah? I enjoy my freedom, I enjoy my flat, I enjoy my money. You know, I don't have to ask the temple commander, can I have €5 for toothpaste? You know, okay, I need some shoes. Yeah, brahmacharis are like children, right? They're like the children. They cannot take the money of the father and go shopping. Huh? They have to ask, you know. So brahmacharis are like children. And if a brahmachari is okay with that, no problem. I'm not okay with that. You know, I want my money and my stuff. Of course, it's Krishna. In care of Krishna, right? This is what we learned as bhaktas. No? Nothing is yours. You are just in charge of it, in care. So you write on anything, you write in care of bhakta, so and so. No? To be aware. No, it's not. But still, there's some identification, and you need that. But this freedom you get as a Grihastha, you can use also in very creative ways in Krishna's service. Right? That's the thing. You can use your individuality, your creativity, and then you can do wonderful things. Right? You do wonderful things for Krishna. So, yeah. So the Grihastha ashram is actually a great blessing. It's a great blessing, because there are other traditions. There is no Grihastha ashram. They say you can be only, you know, some like in India, some spiritual traditions. I heard. I don't know some. Forgot, but some might be there where there is no allowance for Grihastha ashram. It's just for renunciants, if you want to be part of it. But Prabhupada said, our Grihasthas, they are brahmachari Grihasthas. Brahmachari Grihastha. So there is no difference. Right? And if you are trained nicely as a brahmachari, what will you do in Grihastha ashram? You will do the same. Right? You will do the same. And, yeah. And the other thing is, of course, children. There is no Grihastha ashram without children. Devotees, there are some examples, some rare exceptions, I would say. They don't have children, maybe they don't need children, they don't want children, I don't know. But in general, children are very powerful. They are very, very powerful to show you sides of yourself which you did not know you had. And especially for men, especially for the tough men, to show them there are some emotions which they never had, or they subdued, or they killed. Didn't want to have. Emotions are just Maya, Emotions are just Maya. But children are very powerful to bring that out and see, no, it's very good. It feels very healthy. It's very healthy to have feelings. Right? And to have, and it's natural to love your child, right? This is so, and it's so powerful to experience this love, right? It's very healing, yeah. So also for man and woman, of course. So children must be there. Children must be there. It's very, very important. Yeah, it's very important to grow as a human being. When you have a child, you feel really, now I'm actually an adult. Without children, we are children ourselves, kind of, right? Because with a child, you become an adult. You have to take care. You have to be responsible. Yeah, you have to be, take care. The main thing is you have to take care. And you want to take care also in a spiritual way. You want to see that the child develops also as a devotee. For that, you have to be very exemplary. Because the children, they are very attentive. Whatever you do, whatever you say, however you behave, they realize that. You cannot hide from them. The smallest thing, they ask you, why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? Why are you doing this? Yeah? You have to be really, really exemplary. My son, he asks me, he's so attentive. How I dress. I don't know. He maybe becomes a fashion designer. I don't know what's going on with him, He is so, I want to wear this. I want to wear this. No, I don't want to wear this. I don't want to wear this. It's like a whole drama to get him dressed. Because, not these socks. Not these socks. No, these socks. No, not these socks. I want this sock. Okay. And then he has them. No, I want other ones, Very particular about how he dresses. And he likes to get dressed in dhoti, and he likes to be asked to be dressed in dhoti. He says, "Oh, Daddy, you have a dhoti. You look very beautiful. It's very good." Yesterday I came in my sports dress. He said, "Why are you wearing this?" I made some sports. Why? And it goes on like this, we know. It's a whole thing until he's satisfied. And don't ask why anymore. Okay, now I accept. Now I accept what you say, but it has to be reasonable. I don't know, reasonable in his mind. Yeah. So, and as devotees, we have to be very exemplary and live according to devotional life, and then the children see this is normal and natural, and they will also take this on. So, but here the question of Yudhishthira Maharaj, he is very humble also. He asks, how can I attain the liberation because I am a mudadi, griha mudadi, being in a household life and my intelligence is completely bewildered. And Prabhupada speaks a lot about sex life. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, Prabhupada says here, therefore, as a Grihastha, he presented himself as a Griha Mudadi, one who is completely ignorant of the goal of life. And Prabhupada spoke a lot about sex life, which is, it's a great problem actually. Yeah, it's not a problem in a bad sense. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am sex life, kamosmi. I am the lust. And Prabhupada says, when it is in a shastric way, right? Then sex life is very sacred. It creates life. It's so powerful. It's amazing. Actually, it's a great wonder how this works. It's a great wonder. And if devotees decide we want to have a child, then they understand, okay, we have to prepare for this moment. They become very, very conscious because they understand if we mess that up, we will stick with this guy for 20 years or longer. Maybe the guy who will never leave and just troubles us. Yeah, because it said the consciousness in the moment of perception has influence on the soul you attract. So, and when we read in the Bhagavatam, very often there are the Manus or great sages, and when they get the order, they get even an order to create life, then they go into the wilderness and practice austerity and prepare for a long time to be really aware to attract a good soul. Yeah? So a devotee understands that, and Prabhupada gave for this Garbhadhan Samskara. So, how often was Prabhupada mentioned Garbhadhan Samskara when you read his books? All the time, mention Garbhadhana Samskara, Garbhadhana, all the time. And Prabhupada made it very simple, Garbhadhan Samskara. Just chant before sex, 50 rounds. It's very simple. Yeah. But you can do more. Yeah. You can do more. Yeah. You can do more preparation. Husband and wife should do many nice preparations. First is, of course, there's family planning. They understand, okay, in a certain point, we want to have a child. So what is a good timing? You go into some astrology. Yeah, because we know also from Diti and Kashyapa that, be careful when you have sex, because suddenly you get Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Quite powerful, also not bad. So this has to be considered, the astrology. You find a good day. Of course, then the period of the wife has to be considered, because it's not that the wife gets always pregnant. There's only a very small time window when there is the fertility. Yeah, so this has to be figured out. And then it's even said there are the odd and even days. Odd and even days. Yeah, when you have, I forgot actually, what was it? The odd days, I think, were the even days were male child, and odd days were female child, according to the Shastra. So but odd and even days from the day when the wife stops her menstruation, and then 10 days, 15 days after this, there's the time when is the fertility, and you have to calculate that. Then you have the astrology. Yeah. And what does Prabhupada always say also? It's very interesting. It's a bit detailed, but he says if the woman is more aroused during sex life, the chance of getting a female child is way higher. Yeah. So this has to be also considered. Sex itself shouldn't be, oh, now finally we can have sex, yay! Oh, my lust, yeah, and we, read the Kama Sutra, what will we do? What, Devi, which, okay, I don't go into details, but no, it should be very conscious, And the more the lust can in that sense be kind of, how to say, not so aware of that, the more sober the child will be. Yeah, so this is very important. The devotees, Grihasthas, have to know the art. They have to know the art. It's the art. It's a great science. So many things have to be considered. The whole chanting, mantras, and the ceremony, and this and that. Yeah. And Prabhupada wanted that. Srila Prabhupada wanted that devotees to have children, right? According to Garbhadan Samskara. Because Prabhupada saw that these children, they are very special. They are then sent by Krishna, and they will serve in the Hare Krishna movement. They will serve in ISKCON, they will serve in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they become very powerful. They can become very, very powerful, right? So there are two ways how we increase the quantity of our members. Yeah, one is, of course, preaching. We say preaching, convincing someone who is not a devotee to take part in our movement. And many of us came through this way, right? Who came through this way? By preaching, right? Yeah? Like, most of you came through preaching. But some of us came because our parents created us. Not us, but yeah. So who came by creation? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, couple of them. And there will come a time when there are so many hands raised. Yeah? And there is one advantage to that also, because these children, they often don't have so much karmic garbage. Especially if the parents of those children were devotees. And especially if the parents of those children were devotees. And if this goes back a couple of generations, these children are very purified. Isn't it that Prabhupada said that in the 7th generation or something, there will come only pure devotees? Something like this. Yeah, or 3, okay, 3 even better. Yeah, because this dynasty, this lineage, this family tradition is so purified already. All of them were devotees. And don't we encounter when we preach or convince or bring someone to Krishna consciousness, it's sometimes very difficult to deal with this person because he brings all his past lives, impressions, and then they leave again. Or sometimes they bring too much and they cannot even surrender nicely. There's so much karmic stuff that's not purified. And all of us who came through this process, we know that, right? In the beginning times, in the beginning years, we want to be devotees, but there are so many blocks, so many attachments, so many old experiences, so many family and parents issues and all that. And ideally, a devotee child will not have that. He should grow up in a nice devotional environment. And he has no issues. And of course, it's the worst thing what we have ever done in the Hare Krishna movement, that we messed up this first generation children. So bad. I don't know how. Anyway, we messed it up like completely, but I hope the only advantage of that suffering created is that we learned how definitely not to do that. So bad. This is so bad. How devotees, out of their fanatism, naivete, or also cruelty, treated the children, right? So we should really, really learn from the history. Really. Individual parents, but the movement in general. But now it's better, but still, have to learn that. Because Prabhupada said, these devotees, these children, they are sent by Krishna. We should take care of them nicely. Right? Now, there was this letter by one lady to Prabhupada, and she asked, "Oh, Prabhupada, I'm a puchari, I'm on the altar, I'm worshipping Krishna, but now I have a child, how can I do that?" And Prabhupada said, your child is your deity. The child is your deity. You have to serve the child now, and worship the child, so to say. Actually, children do that. When you go to offer something on the altar, and then the child comes, I want that. Worship me. Offer it to me. No, we have to give it to Krishna first. No, not to Krishna. Me first. I want it. Yeah. So I have to try that they understand the process of offering. Worship me. They demand the worship. Yeah. So, and this is of course very difficult because children, they are very difficult. This is very, very intense. It's very intense when they are small, it's very intense. Yeah, we know that. It's not easy to be parents. They really teach you patience. And I think the ladies are a bit, it's a bit easier for them. I think it's a bit easier for them. Because, I don't know, when at our home, I'm not so tolerant. I'm so this, that. So like, how they say, good cop, bad cop. No? So I'm bad cop, my wife is good cop. But it's not always like this. Like in my childhood, it was actually the other way around. My father was more the good cop, mother was more the bad cop. It doesn't have to be like that. But yeah, I see that the ladies, they are more loving and caring, and they are more tolerant and patient. They can deal with all that the whole day, And for me, sometimes a little bit difficult. So I try to appeal to his reason, which is not there. So it's a very frustrating endeavor. Yeah. So they teach you this patience, tolerance, empathy, all that. Yeah. And we hope that these children become devotees. And actually, this temple is a very good example for that. No? Some of our main, leaders here are devotee children, right? So it's very nice to see that, especially if the children grow up in such a community, are part of it, and naturally take over some responsibility, become brahmacharis also, and then go into nice serving situation. It's very nice. Yeah. So for that we need communities, of course. So in the city it's not so easy. City is a little bit difficult, and it's very difficult then when the children go to school. Especially if the schools, they are like in the big cities, the schools, they are just terrible. What can we say? They are just terrible. Nowadays, it was bad already in my time, but now I don't think this is very good. Children, what they do, how they behave, what they know already about the world, taking drugs and sex and violence and. So we have to really see how we can educate our children in a better environment. No? Not that we spoil them also. Because sometimes children of devotees, they become karmis also. If the parents don't take care nicely, so often we have seen that the child, they grew up nicely, chanting Hare Krishna, cute, this and that, and then they become youth, and they completely, because of bad association, and they're lost. Some come back sometimes. Sometimes they come back. They had something to experience in the world, but sometimes they don't come back. So we have to try our best. Very difficult. Yeah. But so in general, the Grihastha ashram is a very wonderful. Actually, it's wonderful. And it's natural also. When I married, when I came together with my wife, and I visited my father for the first time, actually I was not telling them anything. I was not telling my family nothing because they knew me just as a brahmachari and a monk, and whenever I came, I visited them and as a brahmachari. But I wanted to surprise them. And there's one day, I came with my wife. I knocked at the door on my father, he opened, and my sister was also there, and he wasn't saying anything. And I was just going inside with my wife, and we're sitting at the table, and he was not asking, who is that? He was not asking anything. He was too, bewildered, I don't know. And then at one point, this and that, and my sister was already smiling, said, Dad, you don't want to say something, ask something? And then he said, are you together? Are you together? I said, yes, and he was very happy. And then he said, yeah, it's natural. A man needs a woman. It's very natural. A man needs a woman. And yeah, that's true. That's the cosmic law, right? All the devas even, they have their women. And all the women have their men. It's supernatural. And back to renunciation, if we renounce that, we work against nature. And some can win, and they are really renounced. They understood, I'm a spiritual soul, and I don't need a woman. No attraction, no urge, nothing. Right? But this is, as I said, very rare. This is the nature, is a man needs a woman, and then a man is very happy. Then man is very happy, and a woman is very happy. A woman needs a man too. I think they earlier need the girls already. They look, who will I marry? They come back from the school, Mommy, I want to marry him. They have this already way earlier. No? The boys are already, oh, girls, oh, the hair, oh. And the girls are already, oh, I love you. So, the boys, they need a little longer to realize that. Yeah, so it's very natural. And Grihastha Ashram is a wonderful blessing. Yeah? But devotees have to really keep the balance between the material life, the enjoyment, and the freedom, and the spiritual life. They really have to take care of their spiritual side. It shouldn't be that Grihasthas are just bad devotees, right? They should be very strict, should be very absorbed in Krishna Katha. They should read together. It's very nice if you read together, husband and wife, especially when the children are small, when they're asleep. Before that's not possible. Sometimes we try to do kirtan or read together. You can't forget it, It's not possible, But when the children are asleep, what you do, you take a book and read together, Bhagavatam or Krishna book or something else. There's so many books. Right now, my wife ordered these books from Mahatma Prabhu, this self-care book, and the others is about successful marriage things, so some inspiring things. But Mahatma Prabhu has a very spiritual way to it. So you read together, kirtan together, especially when the children are a little bit bigger, when they can do kirtan, right? If the attention is not just 2 minutes. Sometimes he say, okay, let's do kirtan, we sit together and he drums a little bit this and that, but 2 minutes and then it's over. Yeah? He likes more kirtan, not bhajan, but kirtan, when we run around in the flat and sing and jump and scream and it's more energy. Yeah, but when they are bigger, then soon you should really take them, okay, we do kirtan, that becomes natural for them to do bhajans and kirtan, right? Show them some easy melodies. Yeah, when they can do it. That should be part of the family life. Yeah? That should be part of the family life. To go to the temple, go to the arati, all that should be, the children should learn that. Yeah? Of course, we shouldn't force them. Sometimes they are not in the mood or they are not old enough to do it, and then you cannot force them. Chant your 16 rounds. Have you finished your 16 rounds? Yeah. Naturally, nicely, encourage them. Yeah? And then they will not have any problem with it. Because also this was the problem in the past when the devotees thought, oh, my child has to be now a pure devotee and has to chant 16 rounds, and they force him into anything. And then when they are older, they say, I hate it. I was forced my whole life to do these things which I never understood and didn't want to do. Now I hate it. I get lost, Should be in a very nice way, in a very nice, encouraging way, and not too much, of course. Little by little. And then it becomes natural and it works out. Yeah. And so all in all, Grihastha Ashram is very complicated also. Of course, brahmachari life is very easy. Very easy. You don't have many things. You don't need many things. You don't have money. Brahmacharis don't worry about money. Can you imagine? Don't worry about money? How nice must it be? Right? Who of you, except from the brahmacharis, is not worrying about money? Not at all, Who is not worrying? You can raise your hand. Okay. You can spend the money. Exactly, yeah, she can raise the hand. I'm not worrying about money. Yeah, exactly. But everyone worries about money. Money makes the world go round. It is so amazing. So, and we have to worry about money. Do we have enough money? And can we pay the bills? And what can we afford? Right? Can we afford a holiday, or can we afford a new car, or I don't know, a new house? Would we like to move? How is it possible? Money, 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 money. Right? So this is a big issue. Big issue. Right? And all kinds of other things. So Grihastha Ashram is very complicated, of course. It's very diverse. So many things, so many nice things, but at the same time also so many worries and so much trouble. Of course, husband and wife also, right? They have the most beautiful, sweet moments together, right? Especially when they are newly together, then it's everything, it's like heaven on earth, right? And then with time it wears off a bit. This is kind of normal. It's then more like a business relationship. But you have to bring in the flavor from time to time. Most of the time it's like the anniversary days, when you remember when we were young and when we were in love. Yes. Kind of recreate it a bit. Or some romantic moments, recreate, make everything. That's not getting too boring, so to say. Yeah. And so it can be very beautiful, very sweet, but the opposite is also the case. As sweet and beautiful and loving it can be, at the same time you can hate each other like anything, right? Yeah, that's natural, right? But Prabhupada, recently I read it, Prabhupada quoted someone, I forgot, but he said that, he said, so much endeavor for nothing. There was once, Prabhupada gave a lecture, and they wanted to record it. I think it was even Germany, and they put all this new audio gear with very complicated things, and they wanted to record Prabhupada's lecture. And they set up everything, and Prabhupada was about to start, and they pressed the button, and it didn't work. And they tried, and it didn't work. And then Prabhupada says, I'm like, so much endeavor for nothing, useless, And then he gave the example that the goats, the male goats, when they fight for a female or something, they have their horns and they clash together and make all this noise, and it looks very, very terrible, but they don't want to kill each other. It's not like, a deadly fight. It's just, okay, who will go away and who will stay. So it looks terrible, but actually it's about nothing. And then he gave also the example of husband and wife. Sometimes they quarrel. But then when it's over, it's okay. It's so much for nothing. Yeah. And then I thought about it, that's how it should be. Because sometimes devotees, because quarrel in a marriage is normal. Sometimes they will think, we quarreled, this is so bad. This is completely normal. Or maybe not. Who is actually married here? You can raise your hand. Who is married here? Okay, some. So, do you sometimes quarrel, or it's only me? Yes, that's what I expected. Yes, it's very normal that you quarrel. That's very normal. But it should not be in German, a Weltuntergang. It shouldn't be, we quarreled, now we have to divorce. No, it's normal. It's there. It's to be expected, and you quarrel, and then I'm sorry. We love each other. Everything's fine. So, and that's why Prabhupada said, so much noise for nothing, because in the end, everything is fine anyway. And that's actually a stable marriage. A marriage where you quarrel and suddenly you think, I hate you now, and I'm nachtragend. What's the word? Nachtragend in English? Yeah, I keep the grudge. That's so bad. In a marriage, you have to be really forgiving and should be cleared. It should be cleared, and not you did this at that time, like 5 years ago, you did this to me, and here did this. No, it should be cleared. Quarrel, yes, scream, this, that. Don't fight, no, it shouldn't get physical. That's not. But sometimes you have to, and then afterwards, it's done. Yeah? It's cleared, and we are not keeping the grudge. And the only problem is that, I don't know, this is psychology. I think it's psychology. When the man does something, or let's say, the wife does something to the man, and it's her fault, and she knows it's her fault, what she has to do, she has to So say sorry. She will go to the husband and she will be very humble and sweet and nice and will say, oh, I'm sorry, I was a bit too harsh, or I was too late, or whatever. I know you don't like it, I'm sorry. And what is the husband doing? He says, oh, it's okay, Devi. No problem, we take an arm and everything's fine. Is it like this? Okay. Huh? In theory, okay. It's just in my observation and experience. When the man does something wrong and the wife is angry and the man goes to her and he says, oh, I'm sorry, Devi, I messed up, this and that. What is she doing? No! That would be nice. No! I want to talk now about it. How you mistreated me, how you were wrong, and now I have to educate you to never do that again, and a whole psychological lecture. And maybe then I forgive you, but only if you're really humble. And then you think, when the man thinks, okay, next time she does something wrong, I should also tell her exactly why I was angry and why she should not do this again, and then you should not do that. When the wife comes and says sorry, you have to immediately accept it. If not, you will have the whole drama again. It will never end. It's not possible. I don't know. I think it's psychology, in my experience. Maybe it's sometimes the other way around. Yeah. So man must be very, listen, okay, yes. Takes a bit longer. Yeah. But husband should be very easy. And why is it? And it's also because, and it's a fact also, and we don't care what the modern world says because modern world is crazy. Men and women, they are different. Men and women are way more emotional. It's a reality. I don't care what anyone in the world says. No, men and women are the same. Get lost. You have no clue about life. You're not married. Oh, I don't know what's going on with you. You're just crazy. Yeah. Men and women are completely different. And women are so emotional. Yeah, and so emotional. And you have to, as a husband, and that's, I'm working on that, because not that men are not emotional, not we are complete stoic and complete like machines. We have also emotions, definitely. It works a bit different. But if the man thinks, I want to have the right to be as emotional as my wife, she can scream around, she can cry, she can, treat me sometimes not in a nice way because she is more emotional. Yeah? And I want to kind of give it back, then I also want to, then you're behaving just like a woman or as a child. Man is someone who can be sober and he's not influenced by that. And when the woman sees that, she's actually very happy. Oh, my husband is a real man. He's not like a woman. He's a man. He's strong. He's nice. I can listen to him. This works. But if he's also getting completely emotional and then she cannot take him serious. What's this guy? What's his problem? I'm the woman here. I can be emotional on this and that. So, and this is a very important lesson for us men to learn. Very, very, very important. And my wife is actually so kind that when we quarrel or if I do something wrong, she actually tells me what to do. She tells me what to do. Okay, don't be so emotional now. Don't speak in a high-pitched voice. Speak a little more deeply and sober, and then this will work out. And then, okay, and suddenly the situation changes, right? So this is also helpful if sometimes maybe the wife can give a little hint to the husband. Be more like a man in this way, and then this will work out better. Right? So, yeah. So husband and wife, man, woman, they are not the same. They work in different ways. What is it? One thing I learned also, because as I was many years a brahmachari, and as a brahmachari I was learning completely different things. And as a brahmachari you learn more or less. You don't want to know anything about Grihastha Ashram. You don't want to know anything about the fallen condition of life, right? It is terrible. So you get thrown into a whole new situation. You have to deal with this. So it's not so easy, right? Not so easy. So that's why I said if a brahmachari understands in one point, okay, I might marry, then it's no problem to engage in these topics, to be prepared, because it's very difficult. So one thing I learned, the best mantra you can say to your wife, yeah, it's very important. It's a very important mantra you have to say to your wife, which will make her happy. And it is, you know it?
No, I'm very curious.
And the mantra in German or in English, what was it? I can understand you. Isn't? Wasn't it? Someone wasn't it? I promise you. No? What is? I can understand you. Huh? I understand how you feel. That was it. That the man knows. This man knows. This man knows. Yes, I understand how you feel, and it works. And my wife says to me, "I know you just say it as a mantra, but it works." And what is the mantra for what the woman, all the ladies, listen, what is the mantra you have to tell your husband? This is a great idea. This is a great idea, Swami. Or Prabhu, yeah? Or Pati, or whatever we say to whatever you say to your husbands. Yeah. So there are these little things in life which make it easier, hopefully. But the base definitely for all of that in Grihastha Ashram must be that we are devotees. That we are devotees. And we see our wives as devotees. And the wife sees the man as a devotee. And we help each other in a spiritual life. And we complement each other. That means I have to understand what are the weak sides of my wife, and I don't use them to control her or put her down, no, to help her. And the wife understands what are the weak points in my husband, and I help him. So we complement and help each other in the material way to be nice devotees. Yeah, so this is Grihastha Ashram. It covers material and spiritual grounds that we become devotees and both grow out of it. That one day we see each other really as devotees and say, happily, it was nice with you, the time with you was great, but I don't need you anymore. That should be the realization of Grihastha Ashram. It was nice, I needed you so much all the years, but now we grew out of it, and now I only need Krishna. And the wife can say this and say to the husband, here's the danda. No problem. No problem. The danda for you. No problem. Go out, conquer the world. Right? And the husband is not attached anymore to the wife. Thank you, Devi, for cooking all the years so nicely and taking care of my needs. It was so great. Now I'm done with it. And we can really either be as Vanaprasthas together, but this should be the state, the consciousness, because Vanaprastha cannot be depending, they cannot, I still need you, hugging, this, that. No, it's over. No? Vanaprastha together very spiritually. Or the man goes really into sannyasa ashram, and the wife gives blessings for that. So if the Grihastha ashram does not work in this direction, what was the use? Yeah? We should not stay completely attached to each other until the very last moment. Right. So, and for that we need very nice devotional life in the household life. Yeah, household. Yes. So for that it is glorious. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your attention. Any questions or comments? Yes. Yeah, microphone. Okay, then just like this.
Does Prabhupada say anything about entering the Grihastha Ashram within a homosexual relationship?
This is a completely different topic. Prabhupada was very critical about it. Yeah, in general, Prabhupada was very critical about it. And but I heard that there is a rare situation where he kind of allowed for one couple because of some reason, but in scripture, he was more critical about it. And also in some letters he wrote to some devotees, right? And this is, of course, an issue for the movement in general, because there are so many homosexual people nowadays, and some join the movement, and how can they deal with it, and it's a whole thing, right? Yeah. So I would say that has to be looked at in an individual basis, because they're also different homosexuals. Some are homosexuals kind of by mental, decision, and it can be redecided nowadays because everything's so crazy. Oh, I want to be homosexual, kind of. So they can be, and some are like more deeply attached, and for them, what to do, no? So yeah, it's the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, Subai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What would you say to yourself 10 years ago? What would you preach to yourself?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So 5 years before I entered Grihastha Ashram.
Around that
Well,
time.
if I would know what I know now, or what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
With my consciousness now?
Exactly.
I don't know. What should I say myself? I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe I should have entered earlier into Grihastha Ashram, because I was 17 years a brahmachari, and this is too long. No, not too long, it's good, but it's a bit too long now. I'm getting 45 and my son is 3 years old, so everything is so much pushed in the back, right? So, but maybe it was also necessary. It's also a little bit connected with your life when you're ready for entering Grihastha Ashram, when your mindset is there. So 5 years before I married, maybe my mind wasn't there. So I don't know, what shall I tell myself at that time. It was fine, I cannot complain, I don't have anything to correct in that sense, because it worked out good for me. So I wouldn't say, oh, at that time I was if I would have known that 5 years, or I think it was for me a natural progression, so I cannot say. No. So, Ramananda?
Yeah, to this point, I just think in our generation, we were also preached like this, and in this way we tried to also hold on, and we didn't see the signs that actually we should change earlier. I mean, for me it's the same case. I should have make these decisions earlier. I don't know if I would have been ready. This, of course, is also taking considerations. And when you look at your astrology, you see also why things happened to a certain point and a certain time. But in any case, I think from our preaching in this time, especially for newcomers, we scared also quite some away, or made it quite difficult for some cases. What I know, if we would not have pushed him into this brahmachari lifestyle, they would still, teach them how to healthily live as grihasthas in a spiritual way. They would maybe still practice, because they stopped doing this because it was just too much for them, because this was not their way. But we were the cool guys, right? The brahmacharis. So, and everybody wanted to be like that.
Yeah, definitely. We gave saffron to devotees who were not at all for this ashram. Yes, this was sometimes everyone should take saffron. Not really. No, this is not good.
Connected to this, a question what arose in me before. What do you think for a brahmachari would be a good, when it's getting that he should think of maybe changing the path? Not doing it immediately, but what are the signs where a brahmachari can check?
Oh yeah, good question. So I learned from at that time he was a senior brahmachari for me. He said to me, there are four symptoms where you can see that you are not a brahmachari. Yeah, four symptoms. Yeah. So first was emotional dissatisfaction. When you don't have. Yeah, when you feel not enough love or satisfied or emotional, when you're in the brahmachari ashram with your brahmachari companions or devotees in general, you don't have too many wholesome or enough relationships. Because in Grihastha ashram, your wife and especially also children, it creates such an intense, wholesome, emotional situation where you just feel happy emotionally, you feel fulfilled. Right? So if this is lacking, where you kind of feel, I don't have enough friends, so to say, and actually for a brahmachari it's very difficult to fulfill that, because sometimes we think as a brahmachari, okay, I have to replace now a wife with a brahmachari friend. Right? Just from emotional point of view, I mean like friendship stuff, But this doesn't work. The energy in the Grihastha ashram from wife and children cannot be replaced. So the brahmachari must be actually very renounced in that, in general. So emotional needs he can fulfill only to some degree in the brahmachari ashram, but not, he must be emotionally kind of detached. So this is the emotional stuff. Then was the private sphere. He said private sphere, if you are not happy with sharing the bathroom with 10 guys and things like this, or living in the van or in the ashram, you don't have your own room, what to speak of a flat or something. So if you can live without this private sphere, and also to be like a child and have to ask for anything, So if you're not happy with this, then Grihastha ashram is definitely better. Then, of course, a sex life. This is also an issue. If you feel, I would like to have sex, I would like to have children, I would like to have a family, all that what comes along with that. If there's a certain amount of lust which cannot be transcended. And fourth, he said money. He said money. Somewhere, if you want to have money and what money can do for you and buy for you. So if you have some attachment for that, he said, then definitely Grihastha ashram. And I thought at that time, these four have to be kind of, the majority of that should be overcome and I can stay brahmachari. But now I would see if there's even slight problem with one of them, it's already critical. If there's only slight problem with one of them, it's already critical. Because you grow up, you become maybe even a sannyasi, but if you have a little issue with one of those things, it's already weird. A renunciant must be actually completely free of these four things. And the brahmachari in his beginning phase has to find that out. And in the beginning, he's definitely not free from that. But with time, all of these four things should be transcended. And then he's a brahmachari. And if this is not happening after 5 to 10 years, max, he should definitely marry. Definitely. It will not happen. It will not happen. I was also thinking, it will go away. All these attachments, it will go away, it will happen. And it did not happen after all these years. So I thought, okay, it will not work out anymore in this life in this way. And now as a Grihastha, it works. Now as a Grihastha, you become free of that. It works. It's way better. It's more efficient to become free. So brahmachari should find out in a certain time, let's say around maybe, I don't know, we can not say a number, but maybe some 5 years. In this first 5 years, he should really find out, am I brahmachari or am I sannyasi or a grihastha? He should really find out and decide, because he should not kind of waste time, which he will have a problem with in the Grihastha ashram. Okay. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your kind attention. I wish you a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Enjoy your prasadam. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Many thanks for very valuable points.
For me too, I have to work on that too.
Thank you so much for the wonderful.
Remember the mantra.
Thanks for the mantras, Prabhuji.
There's one book. It's called Man After Mars, the Women of Venus. It's a very famous book.
I heard it actually.
Yeah.